Howdy folks, my name's Casey. I'm here to take you on a little adventure. But first, the president of Falcon Sails reached out to me after watching two of my videos. The first one he saw was a primitive camping trip alone into the unknown. And then he saw another one where I had this kayak out on the Withlacoochee River. After Patrick watched my videos, he messaged me saying that he has one of these Tarpon 140s of his own and asked me if I wanted a sail kit for it. I said, of course I do. And he said, well, it'll cost you a video, not a problem. So he sent me a sail kit that I can put on here and then use my sail that I've been using on the other kayak on this one. So when I installed the last kit, I have a video of me doing that here. So installing this was super easy on my other kayak. It just took a drill, a screwdriver, and a wrench, and that was pretty much it. So I am going to not show me installing this because it's super easy, and if you don't know how to install one, just check out Falcon Sails' video. So we're just gonna put it on like this. Just like that. Super easy, right?
Raising the sail is a piece of cake too. You just undo the bungee on the side, and then you pull on this line here. You cleat that off, and then there's another cleat on the other side for boom vane control, and it's that simple, and you're ready to sail. And so if you kind of know how to kayak and you kind of know how to sail, then you can probably figure this out too.
All right, now to get this thing out on the water and test it out and see how it sails. All right, so this beach looks pretty good, right? This beach actually looks perfect because this spot where the kayak is sitting right now is almost the exact same spot where I launched from on Everglades Challenge this year and headed out in that direction. The beach looked a little bit different. It was full of boats, kind of like this. And I am super stoked to be trying the Falcon Sail out off of this beach because I will be using it again when I launch from this beach to do Everglades Challenge 2025. All right, and away we go. It is beautiful out here, of course. And we don't have far to go. We're just going about 4 miles. Got a nice slight breeze, a little bit of a crosswind, but it's catching the sail nice, so. And I do want to say that although I am bragging on Falcon Sails a little heavy on this because they gave me a promotion item, if you look at my other videos when I spent all the money and bought the setup myself, I have nothing bad to say about these sails in those videos either. They really are great. The setup is easy and the functionality is superb. I tried to do it on my own. I attempted to do it cheaply, and I have a video, this video right here. But they did it right. I couldn't have done it better. It's a great product for real. So let's get over to Egmont Key and enjoy this trip. It's a great day out here. Behind us is the Skyway Bridge, and this big shrimping boat just came out of there. It's got all of its rigging. Wish I could zoom a little bit better with this camera, but it just doesn't get over there. But you can see the swells that we have. The swells are probably a foot, maybe a foot and a half. Real gentle, easy water. And it's supposed to stay like that all day. And then Egmont Key is straight across over there. Yeah, there's the fishing pier. And then on the far side of the pier is a little restaurant. It's got good burgers and hot dogs. Do just want to show that the sail is full and pulling us right along, which is nice. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure this water's getting really choppy like it is because of the way Fort Desoto and the bay, like there's whitecaps up ahead. So I mean, it's getting a little rougher. But this could also be the wake from that big tugboat, that shrimp boat. Oh yeah, there's the bigger pier. That one's got the restaurant with it. And then the fort's just on the other side. So we just got to get across. But we're not too far from shore. You can see the shape of the island there. And you can see that guy. It's the big old boat. It's got tires, but I don't think it's a tug. I don't know what that thing is. Oh, it's a pilot boat. Okay. So the pilot boats, if you don't know, they run what they call the pilots out to the big cruise ships or the big barges coming in. And the pilot on that boat will tell the captain of the big barge how to get through the channel. As we're getting closer, it looks like the top of the lighthouse is missing. Check this out. Might still be a little far away for that zoom, but the lighthouse is there, like the body of it, but the cap where the light sets, it appears to be missing. I wonder if they lost it in a hurricane. Find out when we get there. All right, so we're coming up to the island. Very cool. And the wind has kind of shifted. It looks like it might be in our favor going back. Super rare. It doesn't work for us very often, but I'll take it. We're just gonna beach this thing and then go for a little walk. All right, so I just talked to the captain of this boat right here, and she said that just follow this trail and it leads to the little town. She said, but the island's covered in mosquitoes. No big surprise here. So breaking out the Dade, give myself a bath, and then we're gonna go for a hike. Oh, yeah, it does look like the light tower's been dismantled. Sitting over here are the lights, it looks like. Oh yeah, these lights were made in 1944. That's crazy. There's the rotating beacon. Wow, so on top of the lighthouse is a light, and it's tiny, you can barely see it, but that's what replaced this big guy. That's wild. There's a little plaque here. It says, in honor of Charlie Spiccola, the founder of the Rough Riders in 1978. I like that name. Yeah, it was the year I was born. This says that this is the second Egmont Key light tower and is built in 1858. That's crazy. The second one was built in 1858. So there's no tour guide, but I see all these picnic tables underneath the palm trees and a little trail. So I'm assuming this is the way we should be going. Okay, so I don't know if you can hear them, but the mosquitoes are here for sure. Holy smoke, she wasn't kidding. She said the island's infested with them. It's everywhere. I think they're worst in like the shade. Once you get out into the sun, they don't really like that too much. So I guess I'll just stay in the sun as much as I can. Barely even see. Here's a pretty cool old structure. Let's see if there's a placard for it, but it goes way back there. That's pretty neat. So I guess it was part of the fort at some point. Pretty cool structure. I bet with this standing water, the mosquitoes are crazy. I'm not gonna go in there. All right, this says battery. Oh, it's got a cool echo. Battery Macintosh, Coastal Defense, Spanish-American War. It's one of 5 gun batteries on Fort Dade, it says. It's kind of hard to see through the clouds of mosquitoes sometimes. They're just so intense. This must have been where the gun physically was. Oh yeah, right there. Pretty neat. I thought there was standing water right here that was reflecting back up, but the floor is fallen all the way through right here. Just came around the bend, still on the top floor. There's another spot for a gun. You can see the big chain mounts. Wonder if that was to keep it, like when it recoiled, kind of hold it there. All right. And then that goes down. Let's see how bad the mosquitoes are down here. Okay. This would be a cool place to ride out a hurricane. And the mosquitoes aren't bad in here, which is crazy. Yeah, I figured in there the mosquitoes would have been worse. So the island has a lot of ruins on it too. It's just the foundation of the Ordnance Repair Shop, Building 22, built in 1922 for the cost of $1,300. Yeah, it looked nice at one point. The remaining structure of something there. Now there's a sign, and right by the sign is a gopher tortoise. There's a lot of signs out here. Do not disturb the gopher tortoises. But they're very cool. Big old dudes. Look at those claws. Diggers. Oh, it was a fire control command tower. That's what that was. It was used to locate the enemy ships and relay their position to the gunners. Here's an informational board about the osprey. And they're pretty cool birds, but it says their length, body length is 23 inches, so almost 2 feet, and then 63 inches on their wingspan. Big old birds. There's a concrete wall there, and then what is this? Looks like a sandbag wall. They're a little bigger than sandbags, but that's probably what they did. Use bags of concrete. Bizarre. There's a little trail. You can see the beach out at the Gulf of Mexico. Very cool. Beautiful as always. Sometimes I wish I had a temperature gun just to check the temperature of the ground. It's hot today. I just saw this gopher tortoise, a little bit smaller, but I wanted to see him, but he was doing push-ups. He just kind of stood out. Hey there, bud. This is a pretty cool path. It must have been like their main street, because all the constructions on either side of this, their houses and fire towers and watchtowers and things. This is a sewer flush tank. Okay. This post had a sewer system similar to the ones above, considered modern in those days. So, all right, cool. Kind of rushed through there because the mosquitoes are buzzing. But walking along this trail, it's pretty neat. It'd be cool to do this at night when in the winter time when there's less mosquitoes. But it'd be a really cool walking through here. Might try that sometime. Check this out. The road's going from like a concrete path to an actual like brick road. Wow. This is the spot for the gymnasium. Used to be a big old building. That's all overgrown and reclaimed by the island. The PX, the Post Exchange. There's another big building that's been reclaimed. Oh, that looks nice down there. Check it out. Over on this side is the bakery. This little town, this little post had everything on it, you know, for being so close to shore. You know, we're only 3 or 4 miles from Fort Desoto. Well, I guess back then in the 1900s, they didn't have roads leading everywhere. They'd do everything by boat. So, but that would have been cool to live on this island. Up here's a concrete building. Wonder if this was like the officers' quarters or something. It's surprising even that concrete's being eaten up already. So this is the quartermaster warehouse built in 1900. Wow. So I thought I'd gone pretty far, but I came ashore right here by the lighthouse. I'm actually up here where that blue dot is. And then we're here. So I gotta go down to here and then come all the way back, it looks like. Oh, this is neat. This is the non-commissioned officers row, and they got a picture of the whole street back then. You can see all the different buildings, and then at the end there's another house. That's pretty neat. And that's what it looks like now. Here's where the admin building was. Anyone that was in the military knows how fun it was to go to admin and try and get stuff done. I wonder if it was the same back then in the 1900s. When I was putting on the bug spray back by the boat, I thought about taking my shirt off and spraying the back of it and putting it back on. I was like, that can't be that bad. I bet I have 20 mosquito bites on my back. Like my whole back is itchy. I need to find a tree and be like a bear and rub my back on it. You know, I said it and then I couldn't get it out of my head. It just, yeah. Oh, man, that feels nice. Oh, yeah, I could have been a bear. Ooh, dang. The commanding officer's quarters. They had a fancy house. And the CO's house is right here. And then this is the Fort Dade tennis court right here. So I'm sure it was for everybody, but nobody used it but the commanding officer. All right, so we just made it to the end of the brick road, and then it's dirt road back there. And so at the end of the road, we had our hospital, which looks like it was one of the first buildings built in 1899. It was a 12-bed hospital, then enlarged to a 24-bed. Had water, sewer, and electric. It was a fancy place. And then across from the hospital was the dead house. Okay. So if you made it to the very end of the road, it was a bad deal. So, the hospital and then the dead house. Yep. All right, so I'm still standing right at the dead house, which I'm assuming is the morgue, right? Like that makes sense, the dead house. So I'm just gonna walk on back, and there were some side roads. I wanna check on those and see what was down there, and then I guess head back to the kayak. All right, I had to just come back and make sure. So the dead house, I was like, it sounds like a morgue, right? All right, so capacity, 2 corpses, an autopsy room, and an icing room, which included a vault. Okay, so it was the morgue. Makes sense. I wonder if that's where the term, the end of the road, comes from. Like with this one, was that common practice? Like leading out of town, the end of the road was the morgue? No. having the CO's house right at the end of the road before the hospital and the morgue is a pretty good logistics setup. So anyone that passes his house is going to the hospital. So all of his staff would be able to go out and find out who's going to the hospital and why, and report that back to the CO. So he'd be well informed. Like, Private Murphy just got back from leave and he's got syphilis again. You know, he would know everything about the gossip of the fort. So yeah. Walking around Egmont Key, looking at all these different buildings and just the structure, the military structure, reminds me of when I was in the military and when I was stationed in Okinawa and at little places in Iraq and surrounding countries, and you know, all the stories, the fun adventures that the people had here. Like, these guys are mostly in their 20s or late teenage years, you know, getting in trouble, having fun, and all the stories that they had, their life experiences that they had here, you know, are gone. It's 120 years ago, and unless they wrote them down, you know, those stories are forgotten. And you know, someday all of our stories will be lost and forgotten too, you know, no matter how well documented they are on YouTube. You know, that'll fade away and there'll be something else that replaces it, and whatever's there will be gone. So just a little humbling experience thinking about all the old cats that used to walk these streets and get in trouble out here. So the days just pass by, you know, and they disappear behind us, and the available days in front of us get less and less. So, you know, I'm glad I can make these videos and show you what I'm doing, but I hope you guys are getting out and doing stuff too. All right, well, I just came upon this building, which looks complete. Egmont Key National Wildlife Refuge and State Park is the sign. And then it looks like it was the old guardhouse here. That focus isn't very good. But this was built in 1911, and then they updated it at some point in the future. Oh, it burnt down. Look at all the fire pictures down here. And the structure was just the concrete that was left, and they rebuilt it. Wow. All right, so quick facts. Egmont Key Wildlife Refuge was established in '74. It's got 300 acres, beach, sand dunes, cabbage patch forest, or cabbage palm forest. Lots of wildlife and recreation. Okay. Very cool. All right, so we made it back to the kayak. I refilled the waters with some near boiling hot water out of my jug. And we just got to get across to that beachy side over there. Shouldn't be too hard of a paddle. And you got the Skyway Bridge right there. And not a lot of traffic. There's a couple boats running through here, but no big ships coming out or from this side coming in. So now's a good time to launch and get ourselves out of here. And I think what I'm going to do is just go straight across and get to the pier, the big long pier, and then just hug the shoreline up to the start beach for the Everglades Challenge. That's where the car is. So I think that's the smartest move. All right, and we do have just enough wind to be able to sail across here, so this is going to be awesome. Yeah, already about at hull speed, just by pushing off the shore. Yeah, this will be a nice ride over. And this is looking out on the other side, so we're passing in the middle of the channel right now. There's no big boats coming, so we're good, but yeah, when we came across, this was all wavy and just weird. Now it's just glass. All right, let's finish our little cruise over. Look at that shot with the American flag right there. Too good. All right, well, we're less than a quarter mile from shore and where the car's parked, so I guess this is a good enough time to wrap it up as any. So thanks again to Patrick at Falcon Sails for gifting me a sail kit. It works perfect on, so this is a wilderness system, Tarpon 140, and it works great on this kayak. I mean, we're in light winds and we're just moving right along, so it's great. But I am going to the Dry Tortugas on Sunday, so next week there probably won't be a video. I don't know how long we're gonna be gone, but I doubt we're gonna make it back by that Friday. Hopefully we're back before that Friday after that. So even if a big storm pulls in, we're going to the Keys no matter what, and we're sailing in the waters of the Keys. And hopefully we make it back in one piece with the boat and no damage to anything. That's our goal. So, all right, thank you everybody for watching, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.